The void is a force that cannot be perceived by ordinary senses. It is not a monster or a creature that can be seen or heard, but an existence of nothingness. When you face the void, you will feel a strange change in the space around you. The space seems to shrink, and everything becomes gradually blurred. It's a feeling that cannot be described in words, as though everything you know is slowly vanishing. All sounds around you will become eerily silent. This silence is not normal, but an endless stillness. The void cannot be seen, but you will feel its presence. There are no signs to indicate that the void is approaching, but when it arrives, everything around you will start to change. It is this change that is terrifying. When you come into contact with the void, you won't immediately feel its destruction, but a gradual disappearance. There is no noise, no signal, only silent loss. Matter, thoughts, memories, all begin to be consumed by an invisible nothingness. You won't realize this immediately, but when you look back, you will see that everything has vanished. The space around you can no longer maintain its original form. It feels as though you are living in a reality that has already been destroyed, but you cannot escape from it. There are no warnings, only the quiet pull of everything into the void. What you sense is only absence, the non-existence. The surrounding objects, emotions, memories, all will vanish as if they never existed. The silence of the void is unlike any stillness you've ever known. It doesn't just mute sounds, but erases everything that ever existed. It is this inability to perceive and the gradual loss that makes the void so terrifying. The void does not arrive as a direct attack, but as a silent disappearance with no trace. You won't know you are being pulled into it until there is nothing left to hold on to. When you realize this, it's too late to turn back. Everything you once knew about this world will be destroyed. And when all has vanished, you are left with only emptiness. Nothing can stop the void's presence. You cannot run, you cannot resist. You can only face it, or witness everything you hold dear slowly disappear. And when you realize, the void is not something you can control or evade. It is a destruction that we cannot change, only accept. The void's origin remains a deep mystery, and its existence is beyond the reach of human comprehension. Some believe that the void is not from our universe, but from an entirely different dimension, one that exists outside of time and space. Others speculate that it is an inevitable cosmic phenomenon, a natural byproduct of the universe's entropy, where all things eventually dissolve into nothingness. The most frightening theory is that the void is an ancient, primal force that predates the birth of the universe itself. It could be the result of a dying universe, a point in the cosmos where energy and matter converge into a state of nothingness. In this view, the void is not just a cosmic event, but a fundamental part of the universe's natural cycle. Everything is born, grows, and eventually succumbs to the void. Another theory suggests that the void could be a living entity, one that exists solely to consume all things, to erase existence itself from the cosmos. Some even argue that the void is not a singular entity but a manifestation of a universal law, an unavoidable fate for all that is born into reality. Regardless of its origin, the void possesses an almost unimaginable power. It does not rely on physical strength or aggressive force, but instead on its ability to consume all that comes into contact with it, rendering everything it touches meaningless. Objects, memories, even time itself seem to be powerless against the void's all-consuming nature. When faced with the void, no matter how advanced, powerful, or resilient, nothing can resist its pull. Its power is not in destruction, but in erasure. The void's influence is so complete that it can make everything disappear without a trace, from the smallest particle to the largest star. In a sense, the void doesn't destroy. It simply makes things cease to exist, rendering them irrelevant and forgotten. Its strength lies in its absence. The more it consumes, the more it perpetuates its presence in the universe. And as the void spreads, the boundaries of time and space blur, and reality itself begins to unravel. Everything caught in the void's reach is irrevocably lost, swallowed into the infinite emptiness that it commands. The void, while difficult to conceptualize, has been explored in both literature and film, often as a representation of nothingness or the ultimate threat to existence. In literature, one of the most famous representations of the void is found in H.P. Lovecraft's works, particularly in The Call of Cthulhu and the concept of the Great Old Ones. These entities exist outside of time and space, drawing on a cosmic horror that mirrors the existential void. the terrifying idea that the universe is indifferent to humanity's existence. Lovecraft's works depict beings whose very presence threatens to erase all meaning, much like the void. Another literary example is The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy by Douglas Adams, where the end of the universe is described as a state of nothingness, a vast emptiness into which everything disappears. In film, the void has been represented in various forms. In Interstellar, the concept of a black hole is used to illustrate the destruction of space-time itself, a nod to the void's ability to erase all that exists. The 2016 horror film The Void directly uses the idea of a dimension of pure emptiness, where creatures and people are pulled into a vast, unknowable void. Similarly, in The Matrix, the simulated reality that collapses in on itself can be seen as a metaphor for the void's ability to destroy all perceived reality, leaving only emptiness. The concept of nothingness or erasure is explored through the visual imagery of black holes in films like Event Horizon in 2001, A Space Odyssey, where the vast emptiness of space threatens to consume all that is known. In Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, the void appears as a place between dimensions, where time and space have no meaning, everything is in flux and subject to destruction. These representations often convey the overwhelming and incomprehensible nature of the void, emphasizing its ability to devour both the physical world and human consciousness. The void is portrayed as an existential threat, not just to the body, but to the mind and the soul, showing the ultimate fate of everything that exists: dissolution into nothingness. Through these narratives, the void serves as a reflection of the deepest fears of humanity: the fear of the unknown, the fear of being erased, and the fear that nothing truly lasts. While the void remains an elusive concept, these literary and cinematic examples provide a way for us to explore its terrifying implications and ponder the nature of existence itself. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, share, and leave a comment with your thoughts. Make sure to subscribe for more exciting content. Thanks for your support.